Sometimes there is no need to make a trip to the big city. After all, it is always better to shop local. There's no better place to do that than shopping at Bison Mercantile in Ashland. Bison Merc not only carries furniture and appliances, but also hunting and fishing supplies, other sporting goods, electronics, and more. So whether you're looking for a new bed or a new fishing pole, Bison Mercantile has what you need. So stop and see them at their location in Ashland. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 6 and Saturday 9 to 3. See them online at bisonmerc.com.
Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc.
Advances in technology have made hearing a more fashionable thing. Gone are the big, bulky hearing aids of yesteryear, and in are more sleek, modern, and connected devices. Connect to your TV, your phone, and the world around you. If you are having trouble with hearing, then schedule a free hearing test at Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas with convenient locations in Dodge City, Garden City, and Liberal. More and more people of all ages are starting their journey towards better hearing, and you can too. Visit miracle-ear.com today to schedule a free hearing test. Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas. You deserve to hear a better day.
If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
At Bank 7, they believe that if you help build a stronger community, you build a stronger bank. They're committed to acting with the highest level of integrity in everything they do and in every relationship with their customers. Whether you want a one-on-one relationship with your banker or 24/7 mobile banking access, Bank 7 in Montezuma or Copeland is there for you. For more info, visit bank7.com. Bank 7, their best investment is you. Member FDIC. Bank 7 is a proud supporter of the South Gray Rebels. What up, benchwarmers? It is that time. It is Friday, and this is the next 55 minutes of me talking about sports and such right here on Dry River Radio. I'm Joey Dean. Glad to have you along. It is Ridin the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas in Garden City. I was just in there this last week. Picked up a 22 for H for Christmas. He doesn't know yet, so don't tell him. If you see him, don't let him know. But yeah, we got him at 22 for Christmas, as he's in 4-H. He's wanting to do shooting sports and all that. So I figured 22 is a good rifle to teach him the fundamentals of having a firearm. We've worked with him with the BB guns we have, the pellet guns and BB guns. We've worked with him on those, and so now it's time for him to upgrade as an 8-year-old and be. I was never one of those kids who had a gun when I was a kid. All my friends did. You know, growing up in rural America, that was just a staple. You know, the farm kids had 22s and BB guns and all those things, shotguns, 12 gauges, 20 gauges, whatever. I didn't have those. I didn't start hunting until I was in high school. And I love to hunt. I don't get to go hunting very often. In fact, it's been years since the last time I went hunting, but I love doing it. So hopefully this will help me get to go hunting more often with him getting into shooting sports and interested in firearms, which I think is really cool. He's into hockey. He had hockey practice last night. He got in trouble with me because he wasn't putting forth the effort that I felt that he needed to be putting forth. So, I'm one of those hard dads. I am. I'll admit it. I want him to strive to be the best at whatever he does. And so we had to talk about that and about having heart and the guys that get to play. I explained to him the guys you see on TV. We watch Blackhawks games together, and I explained, Connor Bedard and all those guys weren't necessarily the most talented when they were younger, but they worked harder than everybody else, and that's the reason that they're out there skating on the TV, and other guys are still at home not doing that. So it's a big difference. It really is. And I think that kind of leads me into the first thing I want to talk about here today with college football is the talent versus the work ethic. And I think that we've reached this point now. It's kind of a tipping point in college sports. Basketball's the same way. College basketball's the same way. I don't watch so much the other sports, volleyball and cross country and all that. First off, I'm not going to watch you run. I will go watch my nephew run. He's in high school, and he's a very good cross country runner. I'll go watch him run because that's my nephew, and I love him to death. But if H decides to do cross country, I might kick him out of my house. I don't want to watch you run, man. That's just not. I hate going to track meets. Track meets last way too long. And for what, 30 seconds in most events. If you're running the mile, it's a little bit longer. But yeah, it's very minimal the amount of time that you watch somebody compete at track meets versus the time you're there. You're there like 6 hours on a good day. Like, track meets are crazy. I don't know if you've ever been to one. We covered the state high school track meet at the radio station I used to work for each and every year, and just covering the updates. It was all day. It was insane, and it was a really cool event. All the classifications get together there in Wichita and do that. But man, it's way too long. Wrestling's the same way. I don't like go to wrestling meets. It's just way too long for very little action for the person that you're there for. But anyway, not the point. The point is, with college football and college basketball, we're at this point now where kids, 19, 20-year-olds are getting, in Arch Manning's case, $6.5 million to go play football at Texas. I complained last week, or I didn't complain. I stressed the fact that Deion Sanders' roster at Colorado was $20.5 million this year. This year. $20.5 million. The school is facing a deficit of $38 million. 10 of that, $10 million goes to Deion Sanders, 20.5 to the players, and it's supposed to be out of the NIL, which is all controlled by the school, blah, 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 yeah, whatever. The fact of the matter is, what was illegal in the 80s, what got SMU the death penalty in the 80s, what got Michigan in trouble with the Fab Five and things like that, is now legal in the NCAA, and schools have taken advantage of it, and there's no going back. We're always going to have this deal now. Now we have to figure out how to control it, and my suggestion last week, and it's a suggestion that I suggested way back in like 2020, 2019, in the beginnings of this show. This show launched in 2018. But even back then, I was saying, you know what? Just pay the players. Make it minor league football. Have the schools sponsor it and make it minor league football and have a salary cap, have a union for the players, get rid of the academic requirements because really, they're a joke anyway. You're telling me that these kids are actually going to school, all of them, every single one of them? The stars that are getting $6.5 million, they're going to classes? I don't think so. Doubtful. So just make it minor league football. To hell with it. And you do the same with basketball. I know you've got the G League already, but you can do the same with that too. I mean, there's things you could do here to mitigate the disaster that we find ourselves in, and that's why we have coaches falling apart. The Sharon Moore thing is just insane in Michigan. I don't know if you heard about that, but that's every day, every hour it seems, new information comes out, and I'm just flabbergasted at the whole deal. But that's a whole different story in and of itself. But you have these coaches that are getting fired after successful seasons. What would be successful? A winning record, or in James Franklin's case, he took a team to the college football playoff last year, won 2 games in the playoff, lost in the semifinals, and got fired this year for having a lackluster year. That's going to happen. Not every year is going to pan out. Ask the Kansas City Chiefs about that. Not every season pans out. And you have surprise seasons. Look at the Colts at the beginning of the year. At the professional ranks, this happens all the time. And then somebody gets hurt, and now it's a dumpster fire, which it was crazy that the savior was Daniel Jones anyway. As a Colts fan, it's been a wild ride. But Daniel Jones going down, and now Phillip Rivers is coming. Oh, jeez. It's rough being a Colts fan. I'm going to tell you that right now. It really is. It is. There's a good chance the Colts don't make the playoffs, and the Chiefs somehow sneak in because of this. And I think that's what's going to end up happening. But anyway, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, you have these uber-talented kids, and some of them don't pan out because they don't have the work ethic. We've seen it at the NFL level when guys get drafted. There's been famous stories of handing a kid a playbook that has nothing in it and then asking him the next day if he read the playbook, and he says yes, but there's nothing written in it. There's stories like that all over. We've seen it over and over again. And so the frustrating thing is that we have the situation now that's been created, and it was already there, of the haves and have-nots of college football. The entitled schools in college football. Your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Ohio States, your Michigans that don't want James Madison, they don't want Tulane, they don't want Coastal Carolina, they don't want Boise State, they don't want any of those schools to be associated with them because they are so talented, so incredibly awesome, that they cannot be associated with that. Here's the facts, folks. Indiana is the number 1 team in the country. Mostly with guys that played at James Madison 3 years ago. That transferred with their coach. 0 5-star recruits on that Indiana roster. 0 5-star recruits. Think about that. They're the number 1 team. They took down Ohio State. Big and mighty Ohio State. Indiana traditionally has not been a good football school. They have been the KU of the Big Ten. Great at basketball. We have a football team. It reminds me of a line from Community. Nicest thing anybody's ever said about our basketball team is they're pretty gay. That's how bad things were at Indiana with their football program. And now they're the number 1 team in the nation. They're undefeated. They took down Ohio State with nobodies, with guys that worked harder. And the payroll, if you will, for that roster at Indiana is below everybody else. It's lower than Ohio State and and Alabama and all those. So that's where I come to. We have to have a salary cap in college football because this is just going to get more insane. And these are supposed to be amateur athletes, student athletes, which is a bunch of crap. We know they're not student athletes. We know they're not. You're getting paid to play a game. You're a professional now. That's how that works. If you get paid to do something, you're now a professional. But we have to figure out a better way to have this college football playoff and even the playing field. And the best way to do that is salary cap, number one. Number two, let's quit pretending that the SEC and the Big Ten are so much better than everybody else. Historically speaking, recent history, 2013 Fiesta Bowl. Now a Big 12 member, Central Florida beat Baylor, a Big 12 member. 2014 Fiesta Bowl, Boise State, still not a member of the Power Four, which, by the way, is a joke. The ACC is awful. Boise State beat, now a member of the Big 12, Arizona in the Fiesta Bowl. 2015 Peach Bowl, Houston, now a member of the Big 12, beat Florida State. 2016 Cotton Bowl, Wisconsin nearly upset by Western Michigan. 2017 Peach Bowl, before UCF was a part of the Big 12. They beat Auburn in that Peach Bowl. The Cotton Bowl in 19. Memphis had a 6-point deficit in the late in the fourth quarter against Penn State, who was number 10 at the time. Tulane in the 2022 Cotton Bowl beat USC. And then you can talk about the Appalachian states and the North Dakota states that have taken down FBS teams. And the fact of the matter is, the talent gap is not that large. And Singeti at Indiana has proven that. You have all these 5-star guys at Ohio State. And he beat them with no 5-star guys. So quit pretending Tulane and James Madison don't belong because you think that Alabama does. Alabama didn't belong in this playoff. BYU, Notre Dame, one of those two should have been in other than Alabama. Or hell, North Texas was more deserving than Alabama. 3 losses, no. Get out of here with 3 losses. We're just going to let Alabama in because, they earned it in the regular season. They shouldn't be penalized for losing their conference title game. Well, then neither should BYU. BYU had 2 losses to the same freaking team. They beat everybody but Texas Tech. And you're going to sit here and be like, but... No. This is stupid. It's stupid that we're keeping out conference champions because of manufactured bias, because of opinions, instead of facts. I really hope Tulane and James Madison not only scare their opponents, Oregon and Ole Miss. I hope one of them pulls an upset. At least one of them. It'd be great if both of them did it. Because every other level of football lets conference champions in. FBS is the only level where the opinions of people associated with the ESPNs and the SEC and the Big Ten, those people's opinions mean something. No, they freaking don't. Results on the field mean something. Duke should be in this playoff. As much as I hate the fact that Duke won the ACC, and the ACC is weird anyway, we celebrate this in college basketball. Why is college football so freaking different that we can't celebrate the underdog? No, can't have Cinderella in football. And the argument used to be, well, those kids at the smaller schools are going to get hurt. Why? Because they went to a smaller school? The talent gap's not that wide anymore. It may have been back in the 80s, the 70s. The talent gap was pretty wide back then. It's not now. And if you even the playing field, which is what the big conferences don't want. They don't want a salary cap because they don't want to even the playing field. They don't want Tulane's and the JMUs. That's why they're excited about next year, because everything's going to change. And only one of those schools from the group of 5 is going to get in. It's ridiculous we have 2 of them. No, it's not. We should have 5 of them. We should have 9 automatic bids to the playoff. There's 9 conferences, 9 automatic bids. That's the way it should work. Then you could have your at-larges to fill out the other 7 spots, have a 16-team playoff, no buys, and just do it. That's the way it should be. 9 conference champions, and then if you can't find 7 deserving at-larges at that point, if you have to have so many others, you don't, by the way. It's sorted out in the conferences. If you want to go to 24, fine. But those 5, the group of 5, have to have an automatic bid. They have automatic bids in college basketball, and it doesn't matter that bad. And everybody's like, oh, well, these games are going to be blowouts, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Sometimes they're not going to be. And if you even the playing field by having a salary cap, then it won't be. That's the thing people aren't realizing. With the NIL, guys can go anywhere. And in basketball, it's even more apparent. We had San Diego State and Gonzaga, and we had like a Final Four of mid-major schools a couple years ago. Like, come on. It's easier in basketball. It's harder in football. I'll admit that. But these smaller schools are working at it. They're full of guys working at it. And I don't care. Talent can only take you so far. Heart beats talent 9 times out of 10. If you really, really pay attention, when you have a group that works hard together, it beats talent. Indiana just proved that. And I like JMU and Tulane this year. I don't like JMU's matchup against Oregon. I love Tulane's matchup against Ole Miss, especially with Lane Kiffin departing. I think that's fantastic. That is a right match. And the downside of Tulane, if they do beat Ole Miss, that's going to be the thing. Oh, well, they didn't have Lane Kiffin, blah, blah, blah. There will be some way to put an asterisk on it. Watch. Because that's how this crap works. Because it's all about politics and money. The same thing with our government, which is run by money. Whether you realize that or not, it's the same thing in college football. It's all about the money. Who has the most money? That's why you won't see a cap. You'll see the Power Four. I'm doing quotes for those of you listening. The Power Four will break away from the group of 5 eventually, which is fine. If you're going to do this crap, keeping them out, because you might get upset. That's the long and the short of it. You might get upset. It's happened. And they know it. Those big schools know it. I remember when TCU beat Oklahoma back in like 2000 and it would have been 2005, I want to say. And TCU knocked off Oklahoma. Little old TCU that's now a part of the Big 12 and not so little. But things were turning around for TCU at that point, and they knocked off big bad Oklahoma. And I remember that because I was living in Oklahoma at the time, and Oklahoma fans were freaking out. And that was the talk on ESPN. Oklahoma got upset by TCU. Michigan got taken down by App State. We're still talking about it. You don't want to be that big school that gets upset by a little school. But guess what? That will happen if you let them play. It's not going to happen every year. But we see it in college basketball all the time. You know, the killer bees for KU fans. Games that you shouldn't lose that you do. It just happens. That's the beauty of sports. You know, any given Sunday, any given Saturday, any given game. The David and Goliath thing. Little Giants. We celebrate this stuff. But not in the FBS. Can't have Cinderella there. Because we got to let the talented that don't have to work so hard. We don't want them to work hard. You can't challenge them with a bunch of guys that just have heart. Jeez. What are we thinking here? And by the way, those schools, I'm not saying that there's not talent. There's a ton of talent on those rosters at JMU and Tulane and North Texas. There's a ton of talent. So, when you're arguing about this, you got to realize that it's unfair what we're doing right now with the group of five. And it's beautiful that two of them got in this year ahead of a Power Four conference, again quotes, in the ACC. Had Virginia won, there would only be one of them. Virginia got upset by Duke. And really, Alabama doesn't belong in this. And then you got the Notre Dame argument. You got the BYU argument. And I'm tired of hearing about, no, Notre Dame gets to pick their schedule. They get to pick some of their schedule. They have a contract with the ACC. And the ACC decides who they face each year. So the argument of, they face the bottom of the ACC. So, that's who was on their schedule because the ACC scheduled it. Look at Miami. Their schedule is very similar to Notre Dame's in conference play. So, we have teams that lost to Florida and Florida State. Come on. You're going to argue about that? Notre Dame's 2 losses. Miami and A&M. BYU's 2 losses. Texas Tech. Those are better losses than losing to freaking Florida and Florida State. But a lot of that has to do with rankings and the preseason rankings, which are a joke. They shouldn't exist. They have way too much influence on things. There shouldn't be rankings until at least week 5 or 6. Then you can come out with rankings. But ESPN and the talking heads have to control the narrative. Have to control the whole thing. Well, guess what? They couldn't control it all this year. Because the ACC let them down. A power conference. Which is not a power conference. It is in basketball. Not in football. It's really not. Love to hear your thoughts. Shoot me a text. 620-222-0898 is the number. Those of you watching on Facebook, you can feel free to drop me a line. Or those of you listening on Dry River Radio, the number should be across your screen there. However you're listening. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. And we'll talk more about all this here after the break. This is Ridin the Pine here on a Friday. Check out AAA Pawn and Armory, that is one of my favorite places to shop, to be honest with you. They have great stuff. Not, necessarily brand spanking new in the box. Sometimes there's stuff new in the box, but, lightly used items that need a second life. I've bought a number of guitars from there. Jewelry, my wife's wedding ring, I got from AAA Pawn and Armory. I'm not afraid to say that. Guns, those are new in the box in a lot of cases. But guns, ammo, electronics, tools. You need some tools going to work on a project and need something cheap. That's a place I go. You don't necessarily have to have something in mind when you go in there. You can just go in there and browse around and check out everything they have. Plus, if you have a check that you need cashed, Jeremy and the girls will hook you up. Be $1.50 per $100 surcharge, but you get a free pawn buck and a 2-liter bottle of soda as well with your check cashing. And those pawn bucks you can use. When I bought H's rifle, I used a ton of pawn bucks that I had collected over the last few years as part of the payment. So it helps a lot. AAA Pawn and Armory. Check them out on Facebook. Look for AAA Pawn Shop on Facebook, or check them out at 132 West Kansas in Garden City. It's AAA Pawn and Armory in Garden City. We'll be back in a moment. It's Ridin' the Pine right here on Dry River Radio.
Hello everyone, this is Harrison again to tell you about Spike's Cafe. Spike's Cafe is the place you want to take your family for breakfast or lunch. Trust me, they even cater. So if you have a party, they will bring the food to you or their food truck to your event. Spike's Cafe is the best. My dad takes me a lot of places to eat, so I know what I'm talking about. Spike's Cafe is open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And on some Fridays, they stay open until 8. So check out their Facebook page for specials or today's hours. Spike's Cafe, only in Ingalls, Kansas.
Sometimes there is no need to make a trip to the big city. After all, it is always better to shop local. There's no better place to do that than shopping at Bison Mercantile in Ashland. Bison Merc not only carries furniture and appliances, but also hunting and fishing supplies, other sporting goods, electronics, and more. So whether you're looking for a new bed or a new fishing pole, Bison Mercantile has what you need. So stop and see them at their location in Ashland. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 6 and Saturday 9 to 3. See them online at bisonmerc.com.
Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call on my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc. Increasing the lifespan of your well should be one of your top priorities. Calling Hydro Resources is the easy solution to do just that. Since the 1940s as Hinkle Drilling and 1999 as Hydro Resources, they have been providing groundwater service and solutions to ag producers, municipalities, and more. Whether it's well drilling and construction, pumping system design and installation, controls, pump services and maintenance, or well services and rehabilitation, Hydro Resources is the answer. Find out more information at hydroresources.com. With locations in Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas, they have a wide service area, so let them help you with your groundwater needs today. The Dodge City Toy Show returns January 24th, 2026 from 9 to 3 at the Silver Star Hall. Come see the collection of custom toys, cast iron, pedal toys, Hot Wheels, farm toys, trains, and more. From vintage to modern, you're sure to find something for everyone. You might even come across that toy from your childhood that brought you so much joy. Find out more information by searching for the Dodge City Toy Show on Facebook. January 24th, 2026, the Dodge City Toy Show returns from 9 to 3 at the Silver Star Hall, 800 West Front View in Dodge City. You may not know this yet, but your weekend breakfast spot is about to be the same place you take the family out of an evening. That's right, we're talking about Golden Corral. The same buffet that serves steak, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and everything else you love transforms on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings from 8 to 11 to the best breakfast buffet around. Omelet station, hash browns, breakfast casserole, waffles, cinnamon rolls, biscuits, and gravy. Oh man, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Of course, you can visit Golden Corral all week long, and you should. But if you really want to get your day going, you want to stop in for breakfast at Golden Corral Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, or go to goldencorral.com and order GC on the go anytime. Golden Corral, 1727 East Kansas Plaza in Garden City.
Advances in technology have made hearing a more fashionable thing. Gone are the big bulky hearing aids of yesteryear, and in are more sleek, modern, and connected devices. Connect to your TV, your phone, and the world around you. If you are having trouble with hearing, then schedule a free hearing test at Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas with convenient locations in Dodge City, Garden City, and Liberal. More and more people of all ages are starting their journey towards better hearing, and you can too. Visit miracle-ear.com today to schedule a free hearing test. Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas. You deserve to hear a better day.
At Bank 7, they believe that if you help build a stronger community, you build a stronger bank. They're committed to acting with the highest level of integrity in everything they do and in every relationship with their customers. Whether you want a one-on-one relationship with your banker or 24/7 mobile banking access, Bank 7 in Montezuma or Copeland is there for you. For more info, visit bank7.com. Bank 7, their best investment is you. Member FDIC. Bank 7 is a proud supporter of the South Gray Rebels. If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
Welcome back, bench warmers. It is Ridin the Pine here on a Friday, brought to you by AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas in Garden City, Kansas. Glad to have you with me as next week we'll have the show. The week after, though, Christmas week, we will not. I'm trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do all this because we might have to take 2 weeks off. Or I'll do one Christmas week, just not New Year's week, because I'll be traveling to Houston on the 1st. I'll be traveling down there to for the second year in a row, cover the Coastal Classic with Cuba and Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and the U.S. teams all down there in Houston getting together at the Coastal Ballpark for the Coastal Classic. I'll be down there covering those for the second year, which is really cool. It's a lot of fun. Man, it is a cultural experience. The fans of the Hispanic teams all come, and they have set up tents, and they cook food, and they drink plenty of cervezas are drink. Yeah, a little wacky tobacco goes around as well. It is a party down there for the Coastal Classic. It is definitely something that you want to experience once. For me, I'm going to do it another time because, they pay me to do it. But if you just want to go catch some pretty good baseball and quite the experience, they get into it. We had some fights last year between some of those teams because, some of those teams, Dominican and Cuba and Puerto Rico, and, they have beef with each other. So it's a lot of fun, though. And so I'll be down there doing that at the start of the year. So keep following our Facebook page, the Ridin Pine Facebook page, facebook.com/RidinThePineRadio, and that will keep you apprised of what our schedule will be moving forward. Hopefully, the schedule will extend for the Kansas City Chiefs here over the next few weeks. The road to the playoffs for the Chiefs, it's pretty simple. They got to win out. They just have to win the remaining 4 games. And the Chargers have to lose to either Dallas or Houston, plus lose to Denver. And the Colts have to lose 2 games of their final 4. I'm pretty certain the Colts are going to lose at least 2 games of their final 4. They've got at Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, at Houston. They'll lose probably the 2 road games for sure. Might lose all 4, to be honest with you. The Colts, I don't think, are going to make the playoffs. They're not. I just don't see it happen. Phillip Rivers, 44 years old. Great story. It's going to be a lot of fun if he ends up being the guy. But let's be honest here. Things have fallen apart. Even before Daniel Jones got injured, things were falling apart for the Colts since they lost to the Chiefs. So, yeah. Indy's going to lose at least 2. I see the Chargers losing 2. The Chargers, Justin Herbert's keeping them afloat. That offensive line's absolutely horrible. Herbert's playing hurt. He's doing everything he possibly can to keep the Chargers going. I don't think will beat Houston, and I don't think they'll beat Denver. They might not they might not even beat Dallas, who's playing better now. But they barely got by the Eagles, who are falling apart. I don't see it. And of course, the Chargers have the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs are going to have to win out. That's it. And they can do it. They should have won the other night. Dropped passes absolutely killed them. And it was baffling. And you could see, the frustration for Patrick Mahomes, who's playing his heart out. He puts the ball exactly where it needs to be, and Rashee Rice can't hold on. Other guys drop passes as well. I mean, Travis Kelce, come on. The stars in that receiving group that includes the tight end, they are not performing. And that brings me back to what I was talking about in the first segment. Talking about a little bit, with talent. And you got to work harder. And the Chiefs have rode talent, and they have, rested on their laurels that they are the Chiefs for years now. And it's finally catching up. The law of averages says you shouldn't be dominant like this. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder right now in the NBA. Absolutely dominant. 6 players in the top 8 of defensive efficiency. Insane. They've scored more points than the Warriors, who set the wins record through this point of the season. They've scored 100 more points than them. They're just spanking teams. And they haven't even had their starting 5 out there yet altogether, which is just crazy to think about. The defending champs are running roughshod over everybody. But the law of averages says that eventually they're going to hit a streak where they're going to struggle. It's just going to happen. You can't be incredibly dominant infinity. Mahomes wasn't going to have a 20-year career where he went to 20 straight AFC Championship games. It wasn't going to happen. And it probably won't happen this year. And he might not even make the playoffs because the Chiefs need to really sit down and figure this thing out. They've got injuries all across that offensive line. It is decimated. They've got injuries on the defensive side of the ball. They're making mistakes that you don't normally see them make. Calls are going against them that used to go for them because that's how this works. Eventually, you don't get the ball to bounce your way. Eventually, it bounces the other way. You can call heads, heads, heads. Eventually, it's going to be tails. That's just the way it works. And as a fan of the Chiefs, that's okay. Chiefs fans are freaking out. The newer Chiefs fans. The ones that watch the 90s and those dominant defenses and then get into the playoffs and lose to the Colts and Jim Harbaugh, which, by the way, I became a Colts fan in the 90s when My dad and I would play Super Nintendo football. He wouldn't let me be the Chiefs because the Chiefs were his team. And so I had to choose a team, and I chose the Colts because I liked Peyton Manning. 97, they drafted him. You had Manning and Marshall Faulk, then Edgerrin James. Man, those teams got really good, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl. But I always liked the Chiefs because, I grew up in a Chiefs household. I grew up with friends who are Chiefs fans. So I've always rooted for the Chiefs. I love Mitch Holthus, and listening to Mitch Holthus call a game, Kevin Harlan before him, listening to that on the radio, just fantastic. I know the history of the Chiefs. I've lived it. I watched my dad just sick for days at a time after the Chiefs would lose in the playoffs. Inevitably, for whatever freaking reason, they would find a way to lose in the playoffs. It would have destroyed him when Marcus Mariota caught his own pass and the Titans were able to knock the Chiefs out. It would have destroyed him. But he also would have absolutely loved this run, and he would have looked at it the way I'm looking at it now. That eventually it's going to end. Eventually. So enjoy it while it lasts. Well, okay, this year it might be the end of this segment of it. I don't doubt that the Chiefs will be back. We saw the Patriots have 10 years between Super Bowls. Everybody wants to talk about the 20-year Patriot dynasty. They had like 10 years between Super Bowls at one point. There was like 2 different segments of that dynasty, okay? Let's get real here. They were good, top of the division every year, in a division that was considerably less competitive than what the Chiefs are playing in right now. You got Hall of Fame coaches all up and down the AFC West. It's just crazy. So, the fact of the matter is, this was going to happen eventually. And the Chiefs are going to have to put their nose to the grindstone and work at this. Figure it out. And the road to the playoffs is not completely insane, like I said on our Facebook page. It's not that crazy to think about. It can happen. They've backed into the playoffs in years past. Back in, 2007? They backed their way into the playoffs. It's happened. They're just going to have to work harder than everybody else. Hard work can trump talent. And when talented people work hard, that's even better. And the Chiefs have plenty of talent. They have the roster. They have the ability to do this. This team is not as bad as what they're playing. They're a couple of drop passes away from a couple more wins. Harrison Butker's got to figure it out. He can't keep missing kicks. Things have to change. Guys have to play better. They have to play to their potential. They don't have to play outstandingly over their potential and out of their minds. They just have to play to their potential. They have to play as good as we know that they are, and they can be. So if the Chiefs win 4, and then the other things happen where the Colts and the Chargers lose the games they need to, the Chiefs will get into the playoffs. They'll have to do it on the road, and that's fine. They've done it before. But that's the way it is. And I would like to see them make the playoffs and keep that run going. They're down to like a 17% or something like that, 13% chance to make the playoffs. Yeah, it's like 13 seconds. We've seen the impossible from this team before. It would add to the lore of Patrick Mahomes if he can will this team into the playoffs with those odds. So, I don't think it's crazy. I think it can be done. But yeah, so many things I'd like to talk about. But I only have an hour each week to do that. So we will start high school basketball next week. I will tell you more about that after the break. Also do our picks, and we'll talk a little bit about the Royals signing a free agent outfielder. Woo! Look out. This is Ridin' a Pine right here on Dry River Radio.
Hello everyone, this is Harrison again to tell you about Spike's Cafe. Spike's Cafe is the place you want to take your family for breakfast or lunch. Trust me, they even cater. So if you have a party, they will bring the food to you or their food truck to your event. Spike's Cafe is the best. My dad takes me a lot of places to eat, so I know what I'm talking about. Spike's Cafe is open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And on some Fridays they stay open until 8. So check out their Facebook page for specials or today's hours. Spike's Cafe, only in Ingalls, Kansas.
Sometimes there is no need to make a trip to the big city. After all, it is always better to shop local. There's no better place to do that than shopping at Bison Mercantile in Ashland. Bison Merc not only carries furniture and appliances, but also hunting and fishing supplies, other sporting goods, electronics, and more. So whether you're looking for a new bed or a new fishing pole, Bison Mercantile has what you need. So stop and see them at their location in Ashland. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 6 and Saturday 9 to 3. See them online at bisonmerc.com.
Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call on my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc. Increasing the lifespan of your well should be one of your top priorities. Calling Hydro Resources is the easy solution to do just that. Since the 1940s as Hinkle Drilling and 1999 as Hydro Resources, they have been providing groundwater service and solutions to ag producers, municipalities, and more. Whether it's well drilling and construction, pumping system design and installation, controls, pump services and maintenance, or well services and rehabilitation, Hydro Resources is the answer. Find out more information at hydroresources.com. With locations in Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas, they have a wide service area, so let them help you with your groundwater needs today. The Dodge City Toy Show returns January 24th, 2026 from 9 to 3 at the Silver Star Hall. Come see the collection of custom toys, cast iron, pedal toys, Hot Wheels, farm toys, trains, and more. From vintage to modern, you're sure to find something for everyone. You might even come across that toy from your childhood that brought you so much joy. Find out more information by searching for the Dodge City Toy Show on Facebook. January 24th, 2026, the Dodge City Toy Show returns from 9 to 3 at the Silver Star Hall, 800 West Front View in Dodge City. You may not know this yet, but your weekend breakfast spot is about to be the same place you take the family out of an evening. That's right, we're talking about Golden Corral, the same buffet that serves steak, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and everything else you love. Transforms on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings from 8 to 11 to the best breakfast buffet around. Omelet station, hash browns, breakfast casserole, waffles, cinnamon rolls, biscuits, and gravy. Oh man, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Of course you can visit Golden Corral all week long, and you should. But if you really want to get your day going, you want to stop in for breakfast at Golden Corral, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Or go to goldencorral.com and order GC on the go anytime. Golden Corral, 1727 East Kansas Plaza in Garden City.
Advances in technology have made hearing a more fashionable thing. Gone are the big bulky hearing aids of yesteryear, and in are more sleek, modern, and connected devices. Connect to your TV, your phone, and the world around you. If you are having trouble with hearing, then schedule a free hearing test at Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas with convenient locations in Dodge City, Garden City, and Liberal. More and more people of all ages are starting their journey towards better hearing, and you can too. Visit miracle-ear.com today to schedule a free hearing test. Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas. You deserve to hear a better day.
At Bank 7, they believe that if you help build a stronger community, you build a stronger bank. They're committed to acting with the highest level of integrity in everything they do and in every relationship with their customers. Whether you want a one-on-one relationship with your banker or 24/7 mobile banking access, Bank 7 in Montezuma or Copeland is there for you. For more info, visit bank7.com. Bank 7, their best investment is you. Member FDIC. Bank 7 is a proud supporter of the South Gray Rebels. If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
Welcome back, bench warmers. Final segment of the program. It is Right in Line, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory, right here on Dry River Radio. Shout out to our new sponsors, by the way. High school basketball going to get started here on Dry River Radio next week. Shout out to the Dodge City Toys Show, Miracle Ear, Bison Mercantile in Ashland, Bank 7 in Montezuma and Copeland, Graph Inc., Hydro Resources, AAA Pawn and Armory, Golden Corral, and, of course, our title sponsor, our friends at Spike's Cafe, only in Ingalls, Kansas. Gonna have some really good games, I think. I just shared the schedule on the Ride in the Pine Facebook page. We'll get it shared on the Dry River Radio Facebook page and everywhere else you can imagine. As we finally finalized the schedule yesterday, trying to get all the Fridays and everything lined out. But we will start Tuesday in Ingalls, right here in Ingalls, as I'm in the studios here, the Dry River Radio studios, the Graph Inc. studios here in Ingalls. Ashland at Ingalls on Tuesday, and then we'll stay in Ingalls. We just have 2 games in December, Tuesday and Friday next week. Ashland at Ingalls on Tuesday, South Gray at Ingalls on Friday. That should be a lot of fun to be able to do those games right here in Ingalls, and then starting in the new year, we'll have Ashland at Satana, Stanton County at South Gray, Hodgman County at Mineola. We'll follow Cimarron at Ashland. We'll have some Ingalls at Buckland, Cimarron at Ulysses, Southwestern Heights, Sublette, Meade at Elkhart. The list goes on and on and on as we have 16 games that 16 matchups we'll be covering. It's boys and girls, so it's 32 different games that we'll be covering for basketball season over the next few months. So thank you to all of our sponsors, and if you would like to get involved and be a sponsor of it as well, feel free to send us a message, dryriverservices@gmail.com. The Royals made a signing yesterday. They signed Lane Thomas, an outfielder who was injured last year. He struggled a little bit, but as an everyday guy, has had some success batting in the 260s, which is better than any outfielder for the Royals really right now. He could be a platoon with Isbell in center field. I don't think the Royals are done making moves. I think they've got a handful of moves still to make. And so we'll see the Kansas City Royals be adding some more, probably bats via trade. They're still looking, but that was their free agent move. Very Royals move, a bet low, but could get a nice return out of Lane Thomas. I think that's a very good signing. They walked away from Yastrzemski and Frazier, and they signed this guy right here. I like it. Let's get to the picks for this week as looking at the NFL. Last night, the Falcons kicked a field goal at the buzzer to beat the Buccaneers 29-28. Hurts the Bucs a little bit in the playoff standings, but man, the Falcons, yeah, look at that. So we go to Sunday, noon on CBS, the Chargers at the Chiefs. This is a must-win for Kansas City. I think they do get the victory over the Chargers. Give me the Chiefs. They move back to 500 at 7-7. I think they finish out winning 4 in a row. I really do. The Colts at the Seahawks. That is at 325. Give me the Seahawks in that one. I don't think the Colts have what it takes to take down, Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Browns at Bears at noon on Fox. Give me the Bears against the Browns, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer. Sanders has actually looked halfway decent, and if Stefanski doesn't call whatever the hell that was last week for the 2-point conversion, I think the Browns in better shape than what they are. But I think the Bears still the better team, and they will win at home. To noon on CBS, the Ravens at the Bengals. The Ravens have to get some wins. The Bengals have to get some wins. The Bengals nearly took down the Bills last week. They'll be at home against the Ravens. Lamar struggled lately. Give me the Bengals in the upset here. Bills at the Patriots, noon on CBS. I will take the Patriots in this one. The Bills really had to put up a fight against the Bengals last week at home. And so, going to the Patriots, who have inexplicably been very good under Drake May. 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for him. Just fantastic. Give me the Pats in Foxborough. Noon on Fox, the Commanders at the Giants in the Who Cares game. I don't know. The Commanders, again, without Daniels. Giants, give me, I guess, Jackson Dart and I don't know. Tickets as low as $13 for that NFL game at MetLife Stadium. Give me, I guess, the Giants. I don't know. Noon on Fox, Raiders at the Eagles. I will take the Eagles. Kenny Pickett might be starting for the Raiders, which would be interesting considering he used to play for the Eagles. But, Jalen Hurts and them. Jalen Hurts was awful the other night against the Chargers. He's got to bounce back. You got to think that he bounces back. Give me the Eagles at home. Noon on CBS, the Jets at the Jaguars. Give me the Jags in that one. That's a no-brainer. Noon on Fox, Cardinals at the Texans. The Cardinals under Jacoby Brissett, who I was a big proponent of the Colts keeping him back a few years ago. They didn't do it. Now he's playing pretty well for Arizona. In fact, it's like basically Jacoby Brissett against the world right now because he doesn't have a good team around him. But he'll put up a fight, but I think the Texans ultimately win in that one. 3:25 on CBS, the Packers at the Broncos. This one's an interesting one. I really feel like the Broncos aren't as good as what their record is. I think the Packers nip them here on the road. It doesn't matter about the temperature or anything like that because the Packers are used to it. Give me the Packers on the road at Denver. 3:25 on Fox, the Lions at the Rams. This one's another interesting one from Inglewood, California. The Lions need this one. Give me the Lions because they must have it, but it's going to be tough against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Tickets as low as $155, by the way, on that one. Big difference in ticket prices between that one and the game at MetLife. Panthers at Saints, 3:25 on Fox. Panthers have surprised me. Bryce Young hasn't been terrible. That defense is actually pretty good for Carolina, and it's carried them. The Saints, not a very good team. They are going to be without Alvin Kamara. Give me the Panthers on the road in that one. They moved to 8-6. 3:25 on Fox. The Titans at the 49ers. This is not going to be a very close one. Christian McCaffrey was listed as questionable due to an illness, but I think he'll play, and I think the Niners are going to run all over the Titans in this one and get the victory. Sunday Night Football, Vikings at Cowboys. The Cowboys need these wins. Need. They're at home against the Vikings, a team with a losing record. You have to get this win. Dak Prescott, will your team into the playoffs, please? And so, I'm taking the Cowboys at home. And Monday Night Football, the Dolphins at the Steelers. Both these teams need some victories as well. The Finns still barely in the playoff conversation along with the Chiefs. But I think the Steelers get the win at home in this one. College basketball on Saturday. A handful of area schools going to be getting it on the hardwood, including Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. A little bedlam on Fox at noon from the Paycon Center in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma State's undefeated on the year. I think they stay that way as they knock down 6-3 Oklahoma. Kansas State at Creighton at 2 o'clock on Fox. From Omaha, Nebraska. Creighton down a little bit this year. Kansas State still trying to find their identity. I think Creighton gets the victory, though, at home. Kansas At 4:30 on ESPN from the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina, they'll take on NC State. Both teams 7-3. I think Kansas, they're figuring it out as well. Their losses have begun against very good teams. Give me the Jayhawks, the 19th ranked Jayhawks over NC State Wolfpack. And then on ESPNU at 11 a.m. Saturday from Charles Koch Arena, this one's an interesting one. 7-3 DePaul. The Demons take on the Wichita State Shockers, who sit at 6-4. They've figured things out here of late. They had like a couple games there where they really, really struggled to finish, and now I think they've got the pieces. This is a surprisingly good Wichita State team. Still tickets for that game, by the way, as low as $16. For that one. So if you want to make the trip to Wichita, or if you're in Wichita, go root on the Shockers, as I think they upset DePaul in this one. And so give me Wichita State. So there you go. There's the picks for this week. That'll do it for the show this week. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, you can check out the podcast. Go to our website, www.dryriverservices.com, and you can see videos and podcasts and everything from all the shows we do on Dry River Radio. You can also download the podcast from all your favorite podcast streaming services, be it Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, whatever. You can download the podcast there as well, as I'll put that up here in just a few minutes. But that'll do it for me today. Big thank you to everybody. Have a great weekend. Let's go Chiefs. Let's go Shockers. Let's go Wildcats. Let's go Jayhawks. And you know what? I'm going to take the Pokes over the Sooners always, every day, twice on Saturday. Have a great weekend, everybody. This has been Ridin' the Pine right here on Dry River Radio.